students, how do we humans perceive the things around us? We have 5 senses that help us to interact with the world around us. These are sight, hearing, taste, smell and touch. Eyes help us to see things, ears help us to hear sound, we smell with our nose, taste with our tongue, and the sense of touch is provided by our skin. Of course, all senses are important, but the sense of sight is the most important. Here is an interesting fact. We perceive almost 80% of the world around us by using our sense of sight. We see objects around us with our eyes. Then, why don't our eyes see these objects in the dark? The answer to this question is light. We are able to see the objects around us because of the light coming from these objects. The light from the objects travel in space and reaches our eyes. When it's dark, or during night time, as there is no light, we are unable to see these objects. Some objects can generate their own light. For instance, the sun, the fluorescent bulb, burning candles, these can generate their own light. The objects which generate their own light are called the luminous objects. Almost all of the objects that we come across cannot generate their own light. The table, the chair, wall, paper are few of such examples. Such objects are called non-luminous objects. But I just told you that we see objects around us because of the light coming from them. And if objects like this cannot generate their own light, how come we are able to see them? We are able to see them because of the reflection of the light. These objects reflect the light to our eyes. What light are they reflecting? Where is the light coming from? The light is nothing but the light coming from the luminous objects. So, how can we summarize this? We are able to see non-luminous objects because they reflect the light of the luminous objects falling on these surfaces. Let me repeat. The light coming from the luminous objects fall on the non-luminous objects. Non-luminous objects then reflect this light, and this reflected light travels towards our eyes, and that's why we see the objects. In the daytime, we are able to see blue sky, the white clouds and the green grass because the light from the sun is getting reflected by them and traveling towards our eyes. At night, we are able to see the moon because it is reflecting the light from the sun. Note that moon is non-luminous and it cannot generate its own light. As I said earlier, most of the objects that we come across in our daily life are non-luminous. We only see them because they reflect the light. Step inside a dark room, light up a torch and point it at a distant wall. Look carefully at the path of the light coming from the torch. You will see tiny dust particles in the air. What is the reason for this? Why are you able to see these particles? You are able to see the dust particles because the light from the torch is getting reflected from this surface and traveling towards our eyes. We also see the same thing in a very dimly lit room where the only source of light is a small amount of sunlight coming from the window. Thus we saw that the reflection of light plays an important role. It is because of the reflection of light we are able to see most of the objects. Reflection of light. The bouncing back of the light into the same medium in which it was incident after striking a surface is called reflection of light. Depending upon the nature of the surfaces, reflection can be regular or diffused. If a beam of light is incident on a highly polished surface such as a mirror, its regular reflection helps us to see our image in the mirror. When a parallel beam of light strikes a smooth and polished surface, all the light rays are reflected as a parallel beam of light in a definite direction. This is called regular reflection. Regular reflection results in the formation of clear images. More regular the reflection, clearer is the image. Mirror, still water surfaces, oil surfaces are examples of surfaces having regular reflection. Now let us see irregular or diffused reflection. When a parallel beam of light strikes a rough surface, the rays of light are reflected in different directions or the light rays get scattered. This type of reflection is called irregular or diffused reflection. Irregular reflection gives diffused or blurred images formed by a wavy water surface, and old chipped off mirrors are blurred or hazy. Remember that all objects, whether they have rough or smooth surfaces, are visible due to diffused reflection of light from their surfaces. Laws of reflection. Good job. What happened to a light? No idea. I have an idea. Really? Consider this ray of light which strikes a mirror. This ray of light is called the incident ray. The point at which the incident ray strikes the mirror is called the point of incidence. Let's go up. Draw a line perpendicular to the mirror through the point of incidence. This line is called normal. The angle which the incident ray makes with the normal is called the angle of incidence. It's still not working. My day is not over yet. When the incident ray strikes the mirror, it will bounce off the mirror. The ray which bounces off is called the reflected ray. The angle which the reflected ray makes with the normal is called angle of reflection. There are two laws of reflection. The first law, the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. If the angle of incidence is 30 degree, then the angle of reflection will also be 30 degree. Remember that these angles are always measured from the normal, not from the mirror. The incident ray, the normal at the point of incidence, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. This is the second law of reflection. Dear students, a question may arise in your mind. Are the angle of incidence and the angle of reflection equal in case of diffused or irregular reflection also? From this diagram, it doesn't seem so. But actually, diffused reflection also obey the laws of reflection. Let's watch this. We divide the uneven surface into small fragments and look closely. Consider the rays in red color. We draw perpendicular on the fragment of surface, the red ray is incident and co-reflected from. Here the solid blue line is perpendicular to the fragment of the surface and is called as normal. If we measure the angle of incidence, which is the angle between the solid blue line normal and the incoming red line, that is incident ray, here it is represented by angle I. And also if we measure the angle of reflection, which is the angle between the solid blue line, normal, and the outgoing red line, reflected ray, which is represented here by the angle R, we find that the angle of incidence becomes equal to the angle of reflection. That is, angle I is equal to angle R. The same way, if we observe closely each pair of angle of incidence and its corresponding angle of reflection, we would find that even diffused reflection also obeys the laws of reflection. So, to sum up, light is reflected from all the surfaces. Regular reflection takes place when light is incident on smooth, polished and regular surface. Whereas the diffused or irregular reflection takes place from rough surface. In both kind of reflection, whether regular or diffused, laws of reflection holds true.